got a list of emails about this long.
Are you convening it?
I guess I am. I'm convening the July 9th version meeting of LocalWorks. Matt is not here, so I will act as chair. And
I want to move to adopt the agenda.
before we do that, can I quickly amend the agenda to include my conversations with Dan Finn?
Can we just go on to new business?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll be in business. Okay.
Go ahead and move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Okay, it passes. And so it's 4, okay. Approval of meeting minutes. And no edits to the minutes from the last meeting? Okay. I'll make a motion to accept them.
A second.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Okay, so passes.
Jamie, do you have the Wi-Fi password?
It's down.
DOWN?
Right, no, that is not the password.
I get what you're saying.
I'm just joking. Hey, Easthampton local preference discuss results analysis and plan for sharing report with partners and the public. Matt had asked us to come up with ideas about analysis.
That's fine. It's mainly just like cross-referencing the age to the targets. So the age and income, and who buys art, and who shops at Biggie's, age and income, and who's shopping at the top 10 local destinations that people said that they shop to. Shop at, rather.
So the top 10.
Like the
Target, the Walmart, that one? Or
No, not the Target, mostly the local, to target the local businesses that people said they shop at, and then identify what age and income demographic they belong to. And then the same thing for the art walks, like who's going to art walks, how old are they, and what income level is that? You know, and then cross-referencing that with who's buying art.
Yeah.
You know,
Does SurveyMonkey have the capability of going into each individual, saying this person?
You can do cross-tabs with it. You can say, you can cross-tabulate the age and the income and the shopping and stuff like that. It's not that tough.
But how many people were over the age of such and such that bought at this place?
Or yeah, so
You can do that, okay.
Yeah, again, this comes down to, we may not be able to do some of these analyses on SurveyMonkey because of the way that we structured the survey, but it's not overly complicated to do.
should we set up a work group for this too? Should we have like a subcommittee work group that does the analysis sections?
actually does the...
Yeah,
the
that
work
sits
on
down with the SurveyMonkey open, maybe coordinates with Jamie and sits down and says, okay, we wanted this list of stuff, so let's do that. Or,
Basically, it's about how many questions we come up with.
I can, my thought on it is, there's a 7-person committee, having a subgroup is kind of, if we can just coordinate amongst ourselves and say, you do this one, you do that one, you do this one, you do that one, you do this one, you do that one.
oh, I'm not gonna have time to do it. I mean, I'm working with Matt on the web stuff, I'm working on video stuff,
So that's fine.
That's why I was saying a subgroup. If there's 3 people that, that information is going to be most useful to, then they can work together as a group outside of the committee, and then just report back to the committee.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, I also think, in that same thing I had in my head, what you're basically saying, age and income of those, the needs questions.
Right.
When same thing on that end.
Right.
You had it to where they're presently going, but this is, or is that where you were insinuating the same
Well,
thing?
yeah, and envisioning moving forward with that, like the age and income of people who want more family restaurants. The age and income, what's the demographic? Like, who's asking for that, really?
Okay.
Does that also, you said age, and it should be also include gender?
I don't think a gender matters,
Yeah.
but, I mean, you know, probably if it's hair salons, it's probably female. I mean, I don't think that's a wild stereotype. It's just,
Okay, so age and income versus various different things. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would give us a pretty,
because that's you're identifying target markets, like what's the target market for this and what's, you know, I mean, you could look at Big E's and pretty much guess who's shopping there, but, well, we might find some surprises in that and find out that actually more younger people shop
Yeah,
at Big E's,
true.
you know? Or the number of people who want health food stores and what their age breakdown is, you know, or age to income ratio, because,
Do, in that same light, do we need to know for those that when I was looking at the question of purchasing outside of Easthampton, or does,
I think that's, and if we're doing that age and income, it would be also interesting.
Yeah, I think for all, pretty much across, pretty much almost everything else, compare that for age and income.
well, I mean, I think
But also, just hold on a second, I'm sorry, but also perhaps compare those who work in Easthampton versus those who work outside of Hampton, as compared to those other, have that be a benchmark.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Because people who
Against
work in
against age and
Easthampton,
income?
no, in addition to age and income.
In addition to age and income, like of the percentage of, say, people 65 plus making $50,000 to $100,000 that go to Art Walk, that shop at Big E's, do they, I guess, work in Easthampton is irrelevant because of the example I just gave. But if it was age 40 to 55, with a mean income of $50,000 to $60,000, do they work in town, and does that affect their spending patterns outside of town?
And I always would venture to say, keep it a little bit more simple than that, so you don't have so many variables. Say, okay, of the people who are age 40 to 50, what do they feel about this question? What do they feel about this? And then, okay, so for the people who make between $60,000 and $80,000, what do they feel about this one? For the people who work in Easthampton, what they feel about this one? I think it'll be more meaningful for us to be able to do that. If we break it down, the people who are between 40 and 60 who make over 100,000, but then the people who also make 40 and 60 who make 50,000, it's going to get too complicated. I
Well,
think
yeah,
deal with
you
each
can broaden
benchmark.
it, but yeah.
I think deal with each benchmark in and of its own, and then if we want later, we can cross-reference. But let's first look at the age groups and what their various criteria, what their various answers were for the questions, and then look at the incomes, and then just look at whether or not they work in town. I do wish we had put it on there, thing if retired, because a lot of people just said, no, I don't work in Easthampton, but we don't know whether or not they work outside of Easthampton or not.
well, the only way to find out is if they answer the commute question.
True, but for some people, they could be working from home.
But then if
or
they
they
work from
could,
home, they'd likely be working in East Hampton.
yeah, but there could be some people who work in a whole, like a hospice nurse or something like that. He or she could be driving all over the place. So they couldn't really necessarily answer.
You're right, we should have asked that.
Yeah,
But maybe we can use the information that we got.
Yes.
and-
I think we can approximate, we won't be fairly,
I also think that perhaps we should leave out things like large box stores, because I think we already know why people shop there.
Yeah.
It's cheaper and everything's available there. That's just obvious. And we're not going to compete if we're trying to document what local spending patterns are and where identify what the needs are. We're not going to go out and solicit a box store to come in.
Right.
So.
And if we are, the information is there.
Right, I just think that's fairly obvious. You can't compete with Amazon and you can't compete with Target.
Okay, so I could, let's decide who we could have work on this.
did anyone else, before we get to that, I think it might be
Yes.
good to go around and listen to everyone's suggestions.
I had mentioned last week that we're interested in, what is the age group that attends Art Walk the most? And then what's the age group that attends the least? And we could, target our marketing that way.
Are you not so interested in income levels?
Maybe.
I think these.
I think that that's helpful.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
Well, if it's like 5% of 20 to 30-year-olds that make between 30 and 40,000 by 2% of all, 2% 2% of all the people that buy art, then you know what that target is, you know what I mean? Then you know.
It just seemed that from the ones that I input, there just wasn't that much information as far as what they spent and what they spent it on. Everybody just answered it so vaguely that, but that's,
I think a lot of that could be because once we entered, we're the handwritten ones. I bet we got much more of them online. In terms of, if we do age group, income level, and where they work, that would
Yes.
satisfy that, because we would do it for all other questions, including all the related ones.
I don't think we would necessarily care about where they work, but where they live would be another one for ECA specifically.
Resident versus non-resident.
Exactly. Who's attending Art Walk, percentage-wise, you know,
Yeah.
from Easthampton or from outside of Easthampton. I think that would be very interesting. So,
I'd like to know what the percentage of buys art.
I mean, it might be
period.
Yeah.
It might be something
Period.
very interesting where you
But
see
that's there.
How much
that you
is
get a lot of
expensive, yeah.
participants of people who are young and not in lower income, but the people that are buying are older and more affluent. So you have a small percentage of people buying the majority of the work and a large percent of the people just going because it's a fun time.
yeah.
Right. I think that that's what it'll show,
Yeah.
personally. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then how do you target, like how do you, and that's for our work to like sort of take that and
Right, and I think it's probably just common sense. The more people you get there, the more people will buy. But, you know.
but if the young people aren't buying it, you know, how do you
Well,
attract
they're
the
gonna
older
get
people
old. They're
to
going to get older.
right?
Patience.
That's a long good thing you have a long-term vision.
You got it.
Eric, do you have any?
Well, I was I'm looking at my notes from before, I was kind of in the realm of what,
we're in symbiosis here. See, just like the van.
that's kind of stuff, I'm just the basic, you know, who does what for where and when. That doesn't, I know we didn't have where.
No, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what, we need to know, and I think that's what people that respond want to know at the end of the day. And also, obviously, members of the business community want to know that too. I think like you say, some things are fairly obvious. You know, as far as the big box stores, why people buy from, but what I notice in entering stuff. But, you know, I'm looking at, on the most part, what the people's, where let's call it the holes are,
Yeah.
I think that's, and once again, why and why not
Yeah.
they shop. You know, we saw, I recall saying to some of them that there's a perception, whether correct or incorrect, that it's a lot more expensive to buy locally, and I don't think that is actually the case.
No, it just depends on what you're buying, too.
Yeah,
You know, I looked at a bug candle thing, right? It's a 3-pack refill for something I already have at home. It was $10 at Manchester's. It was $5.50 at Home Depot. I had to buy 3 of them. You know, so that makes a difference to someone on, you know, to people in my income bracket. But in a general sense, if you're just going to buy one, there's really no point in driving to Home Depot. Shell it out. You know, so you have to weigh. But
Okay. Any input from you?
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking we're looking at the multiple choice questions, but we also have an analysis of all the comments too.
True.
And just not to forget that there was a lot of handwritten stuff that
How do we analyze that?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways we could go about it. I think if, you know, the comments at the end, you know, we can kind of rate them. Are they positive? Are they negative?
Yeah.
You know, are they looking for keywords?
Do they follow a certain theme?
Like hate,
A lot of people
you
have
know,
to stop
and so
about.
if we can start to identify keywords that we start to see over and over again, it makes that analysis like 85 of the 400 responses said
Right.
that they, use this they use this,
Right, right. You're right, a lot of the ones that I put in had Stop and Shop.
Like these others, we're gonna see some amount of people, we didn't put Trader Joe's in, and I know that kept coming up. So we're gonna see that, like, even though it wasn't listed, we still have 40 people saying they shop regularly at Trader Joe's, or,
Let's get Trader Joe's.
and then again, these comments at the end, you probably just have to read through all of them and sort of get the feeling for it, and again, looking at the keywords.
But we can isolate just the comments section of the Survey Monkey and have them listed up, right?
Yeah,
Can we do like a keyword search?
Yeah.
Right, and so like if you take that into Excel, you can code the keywords, so like certain words appear red and other words appear green, just using conditional formatting.
Right.
And then that helps to like look at what's written in a broad sense rather than like getting stuck at each comment.
Interesting, okay.
And that's just one way to do it. There are probably many other ways.
I'm also going to suggest that once we do go through these and generate some of the cross-analysis results, that somebody, if they could volunteer to do like a silly graphic and a pie chart and PowerPoint, and get me the file, then we can start broadcasting it in the announcements, because I think those are interesting fun facts to just kind of be constantly circulating around town.
Okay.
So how do we get started?
I will help. I'd like probably you to get involved.
I mean, I can have some involvement on the analysis. I can't do it all.
No, that's why I said I would do it if you help. You want to help?
Yeah, but I can't. It's a busy time for me.
If you put it all into the Excel, however you do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can start the process and see where it takes me. It's just, it could take a long time to do it.
I think it's going to. This way we thought of all summer long.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should do some of the simpler ones
Okay.
and get those out there so people know that we're actually working on this,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I thought we decided we wouldn't disseminate anything until we could disseminate it all as a...
But we can, the simple analysis that we can do, the first one, would be the ones that just don't have any, don't require any thinking. Just what were the responses for each question, and and presenting that to the group. This group.
This group, yeah.
Is that something that just gets printed out on SurveyMonkey?
Yeah, but again, but because of the particulars of our survey, it does, maybe we have to import it all to Excel and make the graphs using Excel, because the SurveyMonkey doesn't code for the things that we want.
And as far as importing that into Excel,
that goes directly from SurveyMonkey. If you can export the entire list of answers to Excel, or in an Excel document.
so nothing has to be manually input again.
Right, we're done with the input.
All right.
Hopefully, we don't have to recode everything.
Also, I just have a question. So, I know that we agreed not to release anything, but perhaps next agenda we should rethink some of that, because the question came up about, local survey results coming on the website. So, if it's going to really take a long time to do the analysis, which it is, perhaps we should...
What about some teaser stuff?
We'll put some stuff out there, like some of the preliminary question stuff, and then we can do the cross-analysis and add to that. But just having nothing as the result that wrapped out in May, then...
It would keep it fresh in people's mind. They know that they're still waiting for...
And they know that we're working on it, too.
Yeah.
So...
Well, let's talk about that when we have more of a...
What, just lead with some basic facts and not like the number of people.
Yeah, did you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
From the LocalWorks survey, more results coming soon, or more results coming
or
on
like,
September.
Or like your question, did you know, 25% of Easthampton residents go to Art Walk. That's easy,
Yeah, just very simple.
And it doesn't, I don't think it has to be put together in a super cohesive way, but just like throwing out some factual teasers that make it look like we're actually doing something with this. I mean, a good amount of energy went into the survey, so to try to like drizzle out information rather than, you know, obviously the cross analysis is going to be more comprehensive and it's going to really go in a direction of providing information that people really want to know. But in the meantime, I think that if anybody has any opposition to that, or perhaps we should put it on the agenda for next time for further discussion.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, because maybe we'll have enough preliminary stuff that we can look at and we can flag 5 things to put up on the website at the next meeting.
Right.
But I think it is still like, you know, we need to get into the analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So in terms of the analysis, I'm willing to help.
I can help.
You're willing to help. Eric, you're willing to help.
The best I can. I'm not a whiz on Excel and stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I know it, but I'm not a whiz.
Josh, Eric.
So is this something that you, because you know how to import it, would do and then give us the final
Yeah, I mean,
document and we analyze it?
I don't know.
You don't know, okay.
I
I'm
mean,
not sure. We need to explore.
we need to like sit down. It's tough to find during my work day 4 or 5 hours to like really sit down and
Right.
go into the survey analysis.
What about,
So I hesitate to like take the lead on it just because it's
Are you able to do any of this outside of work, or is that inappropriate?
what about on Thursday? Are you going to be here for the,
Wait just a second.
sorry.
I said time, please.
And what about,
Nice. Oh, and is it inappropriate for us to?
no. I mean, I do take work home with me.
Okay.
I try not to take a lot of.
Well, yeah, I don't want to step on any, because for us, this is volunteer stuff in addition to our regular stuff, but if it's inappropriate for us to ask you to do that.
No, I mean, I do plenty of volunteering for the city outside of what I get paid for. But
If you have availability on Thursday, and you have availability on Thursday because you're going to be here anyway, at that time, that
And it's coming Thursday?
this coming Thursday?
Day after tomorrow, I mean,
Yeah.
I am not available.
Okay. I'm not available in the morning.
I'm not here in the morning on Thursday.
Well, what time is it? 6:30 is that cultural district upstairs thing?
No, it's Union Street.
Union Street upstairs thing? It's on my calendar. That's all I know.
I do have time in the afternoon.
Thursday's kind of full.
So on the other end of the, when you turn the question around, if you were to do some of this local work stuff on your work time, are there city feathers that would be ruffled?
No, I mean, I do plenty of stuff at LocalWorks. I just, there's a lot of,
No, I'm just trying to understand what's appropriate and what's not.
I mean, I only work
The city's okay with you
I only work
working,
21 hours a week.
but the city's okay with you using some of those 21 hours to do local work stuff.
Yes.
Cool.
I mean, but then at the time I have,
Oh, I know. I know this is a small portion of what you do. I just don't want to step on any toes or get you in trouble.
no, none of that. I think it's just, doing this analysis it's a significant, we can get it started. It's a significant job, yeah.
Well, I'm putting in here, Josh, Eric, and Jamie would take the lead on analysis as schedules allow.
Is it possible to just get the results into a spreadsheet and then post the spreadsheet to Google Docs?
I'm not so sure that that would be any more beneficial than us looking on the SurveyMonkey site, because when you get into a spreadsheet, I'm not sure we would be able to know that, say, my answers, you'd be able to compare, like person 341, their answer as to where they work or what their income is. Is there a way to make sure that all the other answers are specifically that person's along the line? I guess there probably is.
Right, that's how it comes into, that's how it downloads. It's
Okay.
So we're gonna see however many, all the questions are going across the top, and all the responses are going down, so it's, you know, it's a XY type.
The way the site lays out the answers is pretty intuitive. So,
Right, I was just saying, if the three are having a hard time finding a mutual time to get the spreadsheet, if one person can get the spreadsheet, and then, you know, you have time on Tuesday afternoon, but you have time on Thursday afternoon, and you don't have time until Friday, then by Saturday, one can have at least glanced at it. And
yeah, I don't think getting the spreadsheet's a problem. I mean, I'll work on it.
I wouldn't put it into Google Docs just because it's not a powerful enough program to do the, I mean, it's a, very quickly you run out of space in Google Documents. Like, things start to respond very slowly when you have more than like
Okay.
200 rows and like 100 columns. It starts to get very,
Okay.
and it treats, and the way SurveyMonkey does is it treats each of these subsets as like a separate column. So there's actually, even though there's only 32 questions, there's actually
A lot more.
like 150.
Well, like this one here, what you have is like
Yeah, so we
12 here.
have, so we have like 200 separate responses for each person.
Right.
And what I've seen with other spreadsheets that done Google Documents is it gets very
Okay.
slow.
I'll work on putting it into a spreadsheet and we can email it to the three of us. I'm leaving here in 14 minutes. So if we can...
Yeah, Josh, so if you want to do that and get the data from SurveyMonkey into a Google, into an Excel spreadsheet that you can send around, then I will take it from there to like look at
Great.
what we're missing or how we would get to the next step of doing some analyses on it.
Okay. The next thing is LocalWorks website.
Okay,
Any
so
updates?
the LocalWorks website, when I talked to Matt last week, he was going to purchase the Innovato template.
He couldn't because he didn't have mayoral approval.
He was going to purchase it with his own money, and if we didn't get mayoral approval, then he was going to eat it. Or one of us were going to eat it.
Well, he didn't, I spoke to him this afternoon, and he didn't have time to do it.
Okay, so he
didn't have approval to do it.
I haven't
so-
spoken to him since, so. Can we put in a purchase order for that?
Okay. The mayor has to approve any expenditures of taxpayers' money. And they have to be approved also by the planning director.
Okay.
So, and then to start off that process, the committee needs to vote on an expenditure.
Okay, we've already voted on that expenditure.
Okay, so then we can do it, but we haven't, no, that hasn't happened yet. So we can start the purchase order
Okay,
process.
let's start the purchase order, which will be for reimbursement, because it needs to be done with a credit card anyway. To, I think it's Penguin Initiatives, or to Matt Waugh for site template purchase. It's $45.
Okay,
And that's it.
all right.
Okay.
Okay.
And
But I
then-
mean, if the mayor doesn't approve it, we're both willing to kick in money to just get it.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, there's this process of how the committee needs to vote on it. It needs to get the purchase order and approval before.
We could agree on that.
So the committee has voted
We
on it.
voted on it a few months ago.
Right, but then it got kicked back. It wasn't approved. So we never,
Well, but our vote still stands though.
Our vote stands. The purchase order got kicked back because SurveyMonkey was tacked onto that, but each vote was separately taken to approve those expenditures. One was for the purchase of a web template, the other one was for the purchase of future hosting services. The fact that the purchase order got kicked back shouldn't affect the vote, because that's still an
but
administrative
there was
order.
I was never directed to then create another purchase order by the committee.
Okay.
We never went,
Okay.
the committee never,
When that got kicked back, we didn't.
we never went forward, and then this,
So
it still hasn't been approved. So for Matt to go ahead and purchase anything is jumping the gun.
Well, as she said, if jumping the gun, if we're hoping if it's required that we get paid back. She said, well,
If someone wants to donate $45 to the committee, to buy a website.
if it doesn't get approved, but we'd like to still go through the
Right, so we need to,
just in case we do get it.
and the reason why nothing had happened was because we're coming up to the end of the fiscal year, and things were sort of,
So can you resubmit us a purchase order? just
I'll
for-
make a new purchase order for $45 for this website stuff, and by the next meeting, we'll know whether or not it's been approved.
Okay,
Great,
that'd be
thank
great.
you. Any other updates from the website?
That's really it, was to get that going on. I also contacted Jim Zarvis and asked him, which he's gonna send us all the super fun facts about what buying local does, all the statistics that he rattled off at the LocalWorks forum last year, which was interesting and relevant and should be on our website. You know, like what it means to support local and what percentage of those dollars gets reinvested back into the community and yada, yada, yada.
If he's not able to find them, I think I'd probably still have it.
Okay, if you have them, that's great too. He just sent me a text saying he was back on vacation and about to take them out.
Okay, great.
Does anybody know if Matt added the contact info
Yes.
to the video link?
He did, he added my contact info, he said to the bottom of the whole pages, I haven't seen it.
I don't think
The
he can add
video,
video
he
link.
had said that he had successfully added video at one point to the website. So that's what he told me this afternoon.
Okay.
He also wanted me to remind everyone that the website needs content and for people to post to the website as well as to Facebook, and that if you're having trouble using the website, you can send him the stuff that you want posted on the website, and he'll be happy to post it on someone else's behalf. So if there's information that you want to see on the website, he's happy to get it up there, as long as you can direct him to it.
In that regard, did anything happen with my friend Jim Egan and the dog taxi?
Not yet, I'm wrapping up a project. I haven't been able to, we had a bunch of stuff going on the last couple weeks, so, but he's on my list.
Okay, great. Anything else for the website?
That's it.
Okay. LocalWorks projects and initiatives, can I move to table that? Since we have 2 months for the few minutes we have, and then we want to talk a little bit about sorry.
Tangent.
The email, I know stuff. The email conversation I had with Dan Finn from Pioneer Valley, the LocalWorks group.
First, are you gonna look at it first?
And Riverside.
I don't think it's in Riverside anymore, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, just recently then, because he was there before
Maybe
the
don't
auction.
hold me to it, I thought you...
Is that his?
I just wanted to point that out, not related to anything, but
Okay.
that came out a while ago in the Gazette, and I just didn't know if we had any involvement in it, or if anyone had seen it, or...
So anyway, we started conversations between Matt and myself and Dan, and it was left that we put links on each other's websites for each other, and that we would start to explore ideas of things that we could do together. So,
Cool. He's a great guy.
And he wanted to come talk to the group, or he had ideas
well, he
for
didn't,
us, or...
because he has already done that. So,
So he had ideas that we wanted...
he didn't ask to come and address the group again. But he did not ask to come and address the group again. But I can say that if he wants to, he's more than welcome to join. So we've said that before, so.
I don't know if he was proposing a specific initiative, or...
I think I heard about this because White Square was missed totally.
Yeah, I don't know.
For new and
Are they a
used.
member of...
Yeah, local.
Are they a member of... Looks like this was done by them.
Is the book
I just
runner
remember the
there?
conversation.
Is the book runner there?
Are you looking?
So it's just a buy local who advertises with us?
There's a rich history of independent bookstores in the valley.
Okay.
We had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, and I think it's a yearly supplement, something they do every now. So I don't know if there's any interest on the group to, you know, reach out to Gazette and, you know, like, I guess I don't.
It almost looks like it's an advertising piece.
It's a list of buying local people probably that advertise with the Gazette, or you bought an ad to get in there.
And maybe the local, PD Local First said, okay, we're buying a 2-page spread that's gonna have it, and you folks want to kick into the price of a 2-page spread,
Right.
that type of thing.
Right, and so like, you know, maybe next year, Easthampton wants to buy a spread and say, here's the local businesses in Easthampton that, you know, have
Something that we could,
right, I mean, so I just brought this forward as like, to stimulate a conversation about it. And we don't have to have that conversation today, we can put that on the agenda for another time.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. But I think we need to, I mean, this is what our website should look like, more than really.
we do this once a year with ECA. Art New England does a similar thing. And, you know, we buy the page and we put it out to the artist members. And they each buy a part of it.
To adjourn.
Okay.
Do we need next meeting?
Next meeting was, I think it's the 23rd. I just turned this off, but
Yes.
2 weeks from today. Okay. So we can agree.
Move to adjourn?
Yes.
Second.
Moved. So moved. Anyone against? Anyone want to keep staying here?
Anybody haven't seen the exhibit upstairs? It's a beautiful sculpture.